They weren't supposed to fight. They were supposed to stay behind, silent, submissive, invisible. But history had other plans. Because in the shadows of ancient wars, behind the blood-stained thrones and legendary kings, stood women who didn't just survive the battlefield, they conquered it. You've heard of Spartans and samurai, but have you ever heard of the woman who led an army of 120,000 against the Roman Empire, and nearly won? Her name was Boudica, a Celtic queen with fire in her blood and vengeance in her heart. After Roman soldiers flogged her and assaulted her daughters, she didn't mourn. She marched. Her warriors painted themselves blue, screamed through smoke, and razed entire Roman settlements. For a moment, Rome trembled. But Boudica's rebellion, as fiery as it began, was crushed in a final, brutal stand. She drank poison rather than be paraded through Rome in chains. That's how history tries to silence women like her with a full stop. But not today, because Boudica wasn't alone, and her story, it's just the beginning. Let me take you to Dahomey, West Africa, 18th century. A kingdom feared not just for its rulers, but for its elite female warriors known as the Agoji. These weren't symbolic defenders, they were shock troops. The last line in battle, recruited as virgins, trained in survival, conditioned to feel no pain. They decapitated enemies in hand-to-hand combat and stacked skulls outside their palaces like trophies. European colonizers called them Amazon women, unable to believe such ferocity came from females. But make no mistake, these warriors were real, and their legacy lives on in pop culture today, even inspiring the Dora Milaje in Black Panther. Some were kidnapped as children, others joined voluntarily. But once you became a Goji, there was no going back, no marriage, no softness, just the blade. And death came fast. Their training included mock battles with real blades, obstacle courses laced with thorns, and executions of prisoners meant to desensitize them. This wasn't honor, it was survival. And they were the deadliest in the region for nearly 200 years. Still think ancient war was a man's game? Then meet Tomo Gozen, a 12th century samurai so deadly, even her own allies feared her. She rode into battle with a longbow on her back and a katana in hand. In one fight, she single-handedly took on enemy cavalry and decapitated their commander mid-duel. Historical records describe her as especially beautiful, but her enemies remembered something else: her blade. She fought in the Genpei War, one of Japan's bloodiest conflicts. And when her master ordered her to flee while he faced death, she vanished into legend. Some say she became a nun. Others say she never stopped fighting. And still, there's more. In Vietnam, there was a woman who made even generals sweat. Trung Trac and her sister, Trung Ni, noblewomen turned warlords. When Chinese occupiers murdered Trung Trac's husband, she declared open rebellion. Mounted on elephants, armored in gold, the sisters led tens of thousands into battle, and they won. For 3 years, they ruled as queens of Vietnam, until the Han Empire retaliated with overwhelming force. Facing capture, the sisters didn't beg. They drowned themselves in a river, choosing death with honor over submission. Their courage echoes to this day. In Vietnam, schoolchildren still sing songs about them. Statues still stand in their name. But outside their homeland, their ghosts in textbooks erased. Now ride west, across oceans and deserts, and meet Lozin, the Apache warrior and prophet. Sister to Chief Victorio, she rode alongside him during their resistance against the U.S. and Mexican armies. Lozin could shoot, ride, and fight better than most men. She was also said to have spiritual powers to sense enemy movements. One soldier called her the best fighter in the Apache nation. She once crossed an entire war zone alone with a pregnant Apache woman, dodging patrols, stealing a horse, surviving on stolen food, and delivering the woman safely to her people. That's not legend, that's recorded history. But Lozin didn't die in glory. She was captured, chained, left to rot in confinement. Her final days were silent, but her legacy is loud. These women weren't warriors by myth. They didn't fight for fame. They fought because their homes were burning, because their people needed them, because silence was never an option. And yet, the pages of history didn't just forget them. They buried them. So ask yourself how many other warrior women were erased because they didn't fit the mold. How many were rewritten as legends, monsters, or lovers instead of what they really were? Leaders, fighters, generals, queens. Their stories aren't side notes, they're front lines. They are proof that courage wears any armor. So the next time someone tells you history is his story, remember her sword.